Amy Roloff gives update on Zach after very scary. Emergency surgery on Little People Big World exclusive. Dear loves, welcome to TLC Drama. Please do subscribe my YouTube channel. Amy Roloff is happy for her family to be on the other side of son Zach Roloff's health scare. On Tuesday's season 25 premiere of Little People Big World, the 33-year-old's years-long battle with migraine came to a scary turn when it was revealed that the shunt that sends fluid from his brain to his stomach needed to be repaired. In the midst of the emergency surgery, Amy had to step in and assist with Zach and Tori's 3 children, Jackson, 6, Lila, 4, and Josiah, 1. That was definitely a very scary moment, Amy told ET's Rachel Smith. Even as a mom, and I really had to, put myself in check and not just go in there, because he's married now. Tori is there with him as well, and so I think the biggest thing is just letting them know that I'm here if they need me. Amy shared that while Tori and Zach made back and forth trips to the hospital, she was called in the early hours of the morning to rush to their house and be with their children. Still, she didn't mind as it gave her a chance to keep her grandchildren's minds at ease. I stayed with the kids for a little bit because it was very important for me to have her Tori there with him, Amy said. I think this was her first experience of her going through something like that with Zach. Despite the severity of the situation, Amy, who experienced Zach's prior shunt surgeries when he was a child, remained optimistic. There's always that hope, she said, of keeping a positive mindset. I'm a faith-based person. Even if it did get scary or worse, I thought everything's gonna be okay. It may take a while, but everything's going to be okay. And it was. He found a really good neurosurgeon and stuff, and I just wanted to make it comfortable and easy for the kids. In the end, Amy shared that Zach is doing well, and it's hard to believe that he even had the health setback. While he's fully recovered, Amy, who is also the mother of Zach's twin brother Jeremy, as well as Jacob and Molly, is still the mama bear. Zach is doing great now, she said. You would never have known. The family's doing great. But as a mom, I said, Zach, you gotta pay attention. You gotta pay attention to your body. And it's just recognizing those signs. She added, I'm glad everything's well. Zach's doing great. He's playing soccer and coaching. He's doing all sorts of stuff. We're up on a year on that, and I have not had a migraine since then, Zach said. Thank you for being there with me with everything. You took care of all the kids that whole time. My mom came in. During the season 25 premiere of TLC's Little People Big World, star Zach Roloff opened up about the emergency brain surgery he underwent in early 2023 after waking up with a debilitating headache. Below, we explain what happened to Zach and give an update on how the father of 3 is doing now. Zach revealed during the season 25 premiere of Little People Big World, dubbed Sitting on a Knife's Edge, that he suffered from bad migraines for years. But this particular migraine he woke up with one morning in February 2023 got progressively worse and caused him to vomit. After being rushed to the hospital, he and wife Tori Roloff learned that there were 2 breaks in Zach's shunt. A shunt is a hollow tube implanted in the brain to drain excess fluid into his stomach, where it can be reabsorbed. Zach has hydrocephalus, a condition where fluid builds up in the brain's ventricles that requires to have a shunt. He first got his shunt installed at just 16 months old. Zach explained during the episode that in his early childhood, his shunt never gave him any problems. It wasn't until middle school that he started having issues with it, claiming he would begin to feel a lot of pressure behind his eyes. In 2006, he underwent corrective surgery for the device during season 1 of Little People Big World. While Zach's shunt was successfully replaced during the medical scare, it was an emotional moment for his whole family. Tori said she had never seen Zach in that much pain before. As she explained, the lifespan of a shunt is 15 years, and they learned that Zach's shunt was actually 16 years old. "We've been sitting on a knife's edge, and we just didn't know it," she explained. When Zach first arrived home from his emergency shunt revision surgery, he was very limited in what he could do. He explained that he couldn't lift over 10 pounds, couldn't bend down, and his head had to remain above heart level at all times. This made it hard to play with his 3 young kids. Zach also explained that now every time he got a headache, it became triggering for him, as he feared it might land him back in the hospital. The doting father seemingly didn't take this incident lightly and praised Tori and his mom, Tori Roloff, for watching after the kids while he was sick. In fact, he appeared to feel guilty about not being proactive about his health and scaring his kids like that. It would be super sad to think that Tori would have to explain to the kids, "Why isn't Dad here?" he said, of ever returning to the hospital. Wishing Zach nothing but good health moving forward. TLC's Little People, Big World Season 25 is here, and fans get to see Zach and Tori Roloff with their 3 kids. Zach underwent emergency surgery in 2023, and the new season shows his recovery process. Tori and Zach opened up on their podcast about the scary ordeal in February 2024. Here's what Tori said about fearing for the worst regarding Zach's health. Little People, Big World Season 25 stars Tori and Zach Roloff gave details about Zach's emergency shunt revision surgery while speaking on their podcast, Raising Heights. The surgery happened in February 2023. Previously, Zach had shunt a hollow tube either placed in the brain or the spine surgery. The shunt drains cerebrospinal fluid, so it can be reabsorbed in another body area. He then needed a shunt revision after repeatedly feeling ill. It was 7 years of severe headaches, Zach explained on the podcast. "We discovered Zach's shunt is in need of repair and will have surgery in the morning," Tori told followers on Instagram at the time. "They say it's routine surgery, but it's far from my routine, and Zach and I are nervous. It feels big to us, but we trust his doctors and their ability and knowledge." On the podcast, Tori remembered worrying that Zach might have cancer or another terminal illness before they learned that he needed shunt revision surgery. "I remember thinking, oh my gosh, you're going to have cancer or some sort of incurable something," Tori said. "They did all of these tests, and I'm thinking the worst case scenario is going to happen. You're going to go back and they're going to be like, well, he has 6 months to live." "I was just preparing myself for the worst because I had no idea what was going on." Little People, Big World Season 25 star Zach Roloff had a tough time achieving a diagnosis after repeated illnesses. Eventually, he and Tori headed to the emergency room, but they had to wait days for a room in the operating room for Zach to have surgery. Zach stayed at the hospital when Tori returned home to rest with the kids. Then, a nurse called Tori to alert her that Zach was being transferred to the intensive care unit. "I remember panicking," Tori said on the podcast about the call. By the time Tori got to the ICU, Zach was surrounded by several doctors. "Zach was there yelling my name," Tori continued. "You were there, Tori!" Yelling it in the ICU. "I'm like, oh my gosh, he's dying! This is it! We need help right now!" After this ordeal, Zach headed to surgery for exploratory surgery. "It was really scary watching you get rolled away not knowing," Tori added. Zach Roloff's recovery is documented in Little People, Big World Season 25. A clip from the new season shows Zach back at home with Tori and their 3 children post-surgery. The couple talks about how their oldest son, Jackson, understood Zach was hospitalized for surgery. "A lot can happen in another week," Zach tells Tori post-surgery. "Pressure can build up again, migraines, vomiting. The shunt could have an infection, failure, so we're not out of the woods." Zach explains that he has medical trauma from his ordeal in the hospital. He fears that headaches could signal something wrong with the new shunt. "Obviously, any day, something terrible could happen," Zach says, "but I need to be there for my kids. My kids need me, you know." Little People, Big World's Zach Roloff recently underwent an emergency surgery to address a health issue he's been struggling with for a while. Zach has been a big part of Little People, Big World since the show premiered in 2006. As one of the children of Matt and Amy Roloff, fans have watched Zach grow into a family man, getting married to his wife Tori and birthing 3 children, Jackson 5, Lila 3, and Josiah 10 months. However, just a few days before the premiere of Little People, Big World Season 25, Zach was hospitalized after undergoing emergency surgery. Apart from his marriage and relationship with his parents, Zach's unceasing health issues have been a significant part of Little People, Big World. Zach was born with achondroplasia, the most common form of dwarfism, and has been facing health challenges ever since he was a child. Sadly, multiple health issues accompany being a dwarf, and Zach once joked that surgery has become a routine for his family. Nonetheless, Zach has once again found himself dealing with another health scare, and his recent emergency procedure, which left the fan favorite bedridden, has gotten fans concerned about his health. On February 9th, 2024, Tori took to Instagram to provide an update about the health of her husband, Zach. The Little People, Big World star shared pictures of herself with Zach in a hospital room with the caption, "Not exactly how we saw our week going. Zachary had emergency shunt revision this morning. It's been a scary 72 hours, but he is doing well and recovering." Tori then thanked the fans for their prayers and support before praising the hospital's medical team and Zach's mom, Amy, for holding down the fort. Zach's emergency shunt surgery is medically described as the process of having a hollow tube surgically placed in the brain, or occasionally in the spine, to help drain cerebrospinal fluid and redirect it to another location in the body where it can be reabsorbed. Although the news of Zach's surgery shocked most Little People, Big World fans, Tori had announced the procedure a day earlier in a since-deleted Instagram story where she explained she and Zach were nervous about the procedure. Nonetheless, fans will see Zach prepare for the surgery when Little People, Big World Season 25 premieres. Although Zach's shunt revision medical procedure happened quite recently, the Little People, Big World star first spoke about having terrible migraines in June 2017 during Little People, Big World Season 17, Episode 6. During the episode, Zach revealed he had been sick and secretly battling headaches and nausea. According to Zach, the symptoms had been happening for many months before he told his family about it. In the episode, Zach noted, "I don't really talk about it because there's already so much happening. Something's wrong here. I don't know what it is, but it's something." At the time, Zach admitted the symptoms were so bad he felt like he would die. Zach's concerns were very much shared by his parents, Matt and Amy, who both predicted the symptoms might be due to a shunt that was implanted in his head to help him drain fluid as a baby. Although Matt and Amy were concerned the shunt's failure might lead to his demise and advised he had it checked, Zach downplayed their efforts, noting he didn't want to worry his wife Tori, saying, "Tori has already gone through enough. I don't want to frighten her." Zach has been battling several medical issues for most of his Little People, Big World stint. In 2019, during Little People, Big World Season 19, Episode 9, Zach complained about feeling a lot of pain in his back and legs. Speaking to the cameras, Zach explained, "There's like a tightness to my thighs. There's a weakness in my knees. Something's not going right." Zach, who couldn't understand what possibly might have caused the syndrome, explained that for 1 second he felt fine, but would then be paralyzed for a minute immediately after. Due to the concerning symptoms, Zach made an appointment to see a doctor and was told to get an MRI, which Tori explained was scary because she couldn't help him and didn't understand what was causing the issue. Nonetheless, Tori and Zach soon learned his prognosis, which doctors revealed to be a multi-level degenerative disc disease causing spinal stenosis. Tori didn't take the news well, noting, "I am scared. That's the worst-case scenario in my head for him to have surgery." After it was revealed Zach would have to undergo major surgery to address the issue. After learning that his newborn son Jackson would have the same form of dwarfism he was born with, Zach explained he was well aware of the risks that come with the condition. Zach's life has been filled with one medical issue and another, including undergoing leg straightening as a child. While speaking to Tori about what he went through, Zach explained, "I had to have leg straightening, so I had 2 casts on. Then I had to go back into surgery sophomore year of high school. They added screws to the leg." Meanwhile, Zach revealed he wasn't the type to wish dwarfism on his child due to all the struggles involved. But he also wouldn't wish his child was average height, since average height people have issues too, via In Touch. Meanwhile, the couple's second child, Lila, has also been revealed to be born with dwarfism. After the health struggles Zach has gone through and the diagnosis of his kids, it looks like the Little People big world star and his wife Tori will have a tough time ahead. Nonetheless, the couple will have the support of in an exclusive clip from season 25, Tori Roloff has to come to her husband's aid as he suffers a medical emergency. The last 10 years, Zach has had really bad migraines almost once a month, and they've never been able to really pinpoint what they are, Tori says in a confessional interview. He would get a headache, and then he would be treated for the headache, and then the pain would subside. As Tori is in symptoms, a clip of him in the hospital doubled over in pain on a hospital bed runs. Zach has dealt with these headaches for way too long, but this time has escalated very quickly, she says. In her own separate interview, Zach's mother, Amy Roloff, recounts the moment that Tori called her and told her that Zach would be going to the hospital. It was a little nerve-wracking that Zach had to be rushed to the hospital, Amy says, and I tried to make sure that whatever information Tori relayed to me, that I would go ahead and relay to Matt and all the kids. Back in her interview, Tori recounts making sure they discovered what was going on with her husband before she even considered leaving his side. "I was not going to leave that hospital without more answers," she says as the clip ends. In February 2023, Zach had an emergency surgery to repair a shunt in his brain. In a post on Instagram, Tori shared a picture of her husband after he underwent the operation. 3 days later, Zach gave his followers an update and shared more details about the procedure. "I had a shunt revision surgery after getting really sick," he shared in part. "The shunt has always been something I've had, but became very real this past week for our family. Thank you to Tori Roloff for being the rock this week in our family and rallying the kids. My mom for coming up twice in the night so I could go to the ER, and the doctors and nurses at the hospital who advocated for me and continue to advocate and care for their patients every day. I'm happy to be home, but thinking about everyone still in the ER, ICU, or neurology that can't be home yet. Little People, Big World Season 25 is coming back to TLC, and a brand new trailer reveals how much pain Zach Roloff is in as he deals with a medical emergency. The reality show has been off the air for just over a year, and the Little People Big World cast is ready to invite fans back into their homes and give much-needed updates on how everyone's been doing. There's a new normal that all the family members will have to get used to in the coming months and even years, including the latest on Roloff Farms, Matt Roloff's relationship with Karen Chandler, and so much more. Zach is getting ready to undergo surgery for an emergency shunt revision. Tori is very worried about the level of pain he's experiencing and adds, "We've been sitting on a knife's edge and we just didn't know it." Amy gives her own thoughts by saying, "Anytime a surgeon needs to cut you open, I never consider that minor." This storyline appears to be about the emergency surgery Zach went through a year ago. At the time, Tori noted that it was considered routine surgery, but it still worried her nonetheless. She put all her trust in Zach's doctors and asked for prayers from her social media followers. Zach's emergency surgery isn't the only major storyline that will be featured in Little People Big World Season 25. Elsewhere in the trailer, some of the Roloff family members are working on setting up a fundraising event, but Amy and Matt are butting heads. Amy is adamant that she's going to be running the fundraiser. Matt seems to have expected that comment, so he retorts back, claiming that Amy transitions from micromanager to dictator quicker than me. Neither one wants to apologize to the other. Amy snaps at Matt by saying, "You're the one that doesn't take ownership or apologize." Matt and Corinne also reveal that they're engaged, but there's some hesitation about telling certain family members. As Matt noted, "I don't know if Amy's gonna make things awkward or if she's okay with it." During a confessional, Zach is asked about the engagement, but the Little People Big World star doesn't want to talk about the big news. If this brand new trailer is any indication, then Little People Big World Season 25 is shaping up to feature more drama than ever before. Zach's health issues are definitely worrying, but at least he's in very capable hands and can make a full recovery. As for Matt and Amy's situation, they're going to have to learn how to work with each other. Even though they are no longer together, they are still in each other's lives. Maybe Matt and Amy need to have a conversation at some point during the season to work through their lingering issues and try to come to some sort of agreement, even if they're not always going to